Hi everybody, I'm Devaney Cardinal. This is a partner that's kind of new to me, Calico, and he's only been on the ranch for a couple of weeks, so we thought we would use him for this topic of spring safety. And there's really nothing like the Parelli program in terms of preparing people to be safe. We just see that again and again. Not only gives us good horsemanship habits and skills, but also a strategy for reading our horse and not making assumptions and all those really good things for safety. There is a couple of things though that I think is not, or I see Parelli students doing something that I'd like to make them a little more aware of. And so I've got a couple of spring safety tips for you. You're going to want to be playing online lots with your horse this spring, especially if they've had a lot of time off. You're going to want them on the 22-foot line, the 45-foot line. And a lot of times when I see Parelli students playing online, they have their horse saddled, and that's a good thing to do. Sometimes you see that saddle getting loose though out there and starting to go off to one side. So we want to talk about a properly fitting breast collar and how that can really help things. Having a bit of a moment here. Oh, very nice. So Calico's just starting to get kind of sweet and nice. He's his first bit of time here, he'd really pin his ears at you, and I just finished telling Joanna that he's just starting to get really sweet with me, and it's quite nice. He's a left brain extrovert by nature, and yet he was very, very defensive and very unconfident in lots of ways. So it's fun to see him just starting to come around. Okay, properly fitting breast collar. So some Western saddles will have, either won't have a high enough doodad here, or they won't have any at all, and you'll see people putting that breast collar back to here where the rigging is. Okay, so it brings it across there. That actually puts your breast collar right across that point on the shoulder, and so it interferes with their movement. So if you can get your breast collar up over that point on the shoulder by a high located doodad right there, then that'll really help have that be a good fit. You also want to have a little space there so when his shoulder comes forward that you'll be able to, that's not trapping the horse there. And what that's going to do is when you're out playing online, and if your saddle starts to roll or go off to one side, it'll actually catch it. We were in a Martin Black colt start where I had nothing but my good saddle, so it was on a colt, and it went by and it went farther and farther and farther, and I thought, oh no, there goes my good saddle underneath a colt. But the breast collar kept it from rolling the rest of the way. So that's a really important thing. I stuck an airback pad on Calico today. I don't usually use the airback pads on colts or on new horses or problem horses, things like that, because they can be not used to that feel of it. But I thought I would put it on him because they really make your saddle kind of extra rolly. So if you're playing online with this airback pad, which is so nice for having it help fit your horse good, you want to be extra careful about that rolling. Not just for safety and because you love your saddle, but because it's a huge confidence buster for your horse to have a saddle go south like that. There's been more than one or two horses that have come through our doors and people say, he's just never been the same ever since that saddle went under his belly. And now that horse will have kind of a deeper rooted issue. Nice, Calico. The other thing I want to talk about, which is somewhat a little pet peeve of mine, is the way the reins are set up here on the hackamore and how to handle those when you want to go play online. So this is kind of your normal hackamore setup with your big long rein. And sometimes you'll see people playing online and this rein will be either on the saddle horn or on nothing at all, and they'll be playing or they'll tie their horse up. And that has, all he has to do is kind of reach low, hook a foot in that rope, and then he's flipping over backwards and things like that. So that's a huge deal. But what I also see is people do this. They take this and they double it because they're going to do set it up, but then they don't take the next step and they actually leave it like that and just go around, maybe play with their horse and turn around and don't pay attention. And what can happen is he puts his head down to scratch, he hooks one foot in here in one, and it's almost worse than the other because he pulls on that, the other one tightens down on his neck, And then you have another horse his claustrophobia kicks in and he kind of flips over backwards, or that's the scenario that can happen. So if you want to put your reins up like that, take your get down rope and gather all 4 layers now of your reins, because now you have 4 bits of reins. So you have your 4 reins, and take the throat part of the halter. Can you see that, Joe?
Not quite.
There we go. And take your loop. Actually, I got it kind of funny here now. Take your loop, and it doesn't matter exactly how you do it, but put a belly of the rope through that throat part and through here, and do it like that. Or that's how I would do it anyway. Then you have your little bundle of ropes there. Now you can tie your horse or play with them online, but you have a tight little bundle, and he's less likely to put his foot in there. It's a little harder for him. If those loops are hanging down there, it's just like a little death trap. And again, I don't like to see that because I think, you know, it's one thing, yeah, you might get out of it alive, but it's going to hurt your horse and blow his confidence a little bit. Either having a saddle roll or having him get trapped in a rope like that. So I wanted to touch on those 2 things. Always have a knife on you. I would have a knife on me, but I just...
But it's in my pocket.
So if your horse does get in trouble, that you can cut him free. Aren't you a good boy? So stay tuned for Calico's progress. Probably at the end of the summer, or maybe by next spring, he'll be a neat little gelding that'll be up on our sale page. That's all for now.
Oop, going for the dog. Hey, it's fun. Oh, Sammy's gonna hide behind the pedestal.